Hello, Divine Sunshiners. Stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, Namago.
All right, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever it is for what part of the world that you're in. So, I wanted to come in and give you a pattern and a trend that I'm seeing, which could be a trigger warning for some of you all. One thing is that I'm finding the universe keeps on saying if you want to be able to get out of your situation, as far as when you're talking about the karmic person, place, a thing, or if you want to get more into union with your person, to look at the opposite sign. So, in astrology, some people believe in it, some people don't. But I believe that astrology is like a blueprint in order to help us, like the stars, that again, to help us to align with the things. And it's almost like a detective to put all the clues of the universe together to help us to really get an understanding about people or about being human. I know that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and a lot of times we are looking for clues to kind of help us out to understand how we can be able to be divine or to master this thing called being a human, or whomever that we identify with as far as gender, who we are in love with, or get a grasp of things in this matrix. I want to drop off this thing that I have gotten. It is from Sister Myra and from K Moon. Both of them have been saying the same thing over and over again. And I say, you know what? Sometimes when we're thinking about what's the solutions to things, we're looking for things to be so complicated, but it can be so very simple. And the very simple thing is that, again, if we want to be able to unlock the keys to what's going on, look at the person's astrology or their sign. So let's take a look at the relationship with us being in union with our divine person. We know that our divine person comes along in order to help us to grow. We understand in order for us to be just like in a divine partnership, there's a connection. And I remember when I was in school and going for business, they were saying again, always find you a business partner that is where you're weak, they're strong, and vice versa. In order for us to be able to really master this thing called life, a lot of us had contractually, when we had picked our twin flame, understood that in doing so, we were really asking for the most highest of lessons that will help us to grow on this thing called Earth. Earth is a teachable planet. I say this several times, so many times, but it's also a planet of rehab. Many of us have chose Earth to come back again in order for us to get things right from other lifetimes, if you believe in reincarnation. But some of us come from other planets. Some of us are just coming here from planet Earth. And we're saying, you know what, in this life, this is it. For some of us, this is the last lifetime. And us coming together with our twin flame has been a culmination of all different lifetimes and relationships that we've had with them. Rather they've been our best friend, rather they've been our father, rather they've been our brother and sister, whether it is our mother. We have played all the different types of dual roles, and we've come to this point now that this is a time in which us going into this Aquarius age and us being able to evolve and go to the next level of what Earth needs or what this planet needs from us in order to step into our power and become the leader that we were sent here to be, has now called on us to come together as being in the roles of partnership, as a connection. Your divine counterpart has its mission, you have your mission, but together, combined together, is almost like Mr. and Mrs. Jones. We back to back, and we're again fighting the forces, or we are helping to create a better planet together, back to back, supporting each other in our roles as partners. So now that we're in that kind of role there, some of us have, and the Spirit has been bringing to us, and I did a podcast about the Karmics as well, understanding that the soulmates and their roles, and I got this from Sister Murrah, and I'm going to also share that in the community tab, her saying, and so some things I'm going to be sound biting, and some of the things are just really confirmation about a lot of things I've been saying over the years. That again, whether you agree with it or not, that again the divine karmic has been sent in order for you to be able to understand yourself better. Karmic or karma means lessons, whether you like it or not. As Sister Mara had stated in her live cast yesterday, they come to help us grow to get better. That's why we should, in a lot of ways, give credence and bow down in some ways, if you want to say, or let them to breathe and do their work with your person so that they can be able to help mold and grow and do those things. And I know in me myself, it took a while for me to even to get to that point, as well as to saying, okay, there's room that needs to be there. There needs to be space. Let them go on ahead, because I know at the beginning I said the things that they needed to teach and my divine counterpart had needed at that point. I was not strong to be able to do that, to give that tough love, that whatever was needed at that time, because there were some things within myself I had to help myself to grow and to know. And that situation of them being in that situation and me also being in my own karmic situation helped me to grow. As was stated in the other day, in which we know that again the purpose of the karmic, and I've said this before, is to help them us to get to that dharma, the dojo. Dharma mean understanding what our true purpose is, helping us to understand again what is, and we all already know that, but sometimes when we get here on planet Earth we forget what is our true purpose. The karmic steps in, or that soulmate steps in to help to create expansion, to grow, to help them to remember. Now the purpose of that soulmate relationship is not for them to continue to stay there, but to put them a dojo, which is on the true path that they must go. Now we know that again Earth is a free planet. Some of us get stuck there, that said, okay, you know what, this is my comfort zone, I'd rather stick with the devil that I know. I don't feel comfortable going to the next phase. But we have to remember that even though the human might not be comfortable with it, the spirit always knows what's the next step. Your soul always knows, your higher self always knows, and it's always is pushing underneath that undercurrent without you even knowing, just like the lotus, for you to grow, to expand, to come to the surface where you are, say husbandry, okay, has nothing to do with husbands, okay. Interesting. Understanding again, and that could also be saying that's great when they say husbandry has nothing to do with husbands, stating that this journey has nothing to do about the relationship and the ending product of I have a husband, I have a wife. It is about the process. What are you able to give in the process? If I think I remember what husbandry means. And so what are you collectively together as a partnership able to give to the world? I liked how yesterday when I listened to Sister Myra, where she was saying, you know what, your relationship or this connection is just as much valuable as it is to you, as it is to the universe. Whoever the powers that being are really also having a heavy investment in this whole situation, making sure, because there's some things that you together has set forth that's got to add to the universe to make it better, to make it shine brighter. And coming together, it is needed. It is muy importante, very important that you get together. So you have to remember that, hey, it's not just me that's battling for us to get together. The universe has that too. And we have to understand that again, like she was saying yesterday, to really ask the universe. Kathy D always talk about make it plain, make it simple, make it known that I know exactly what it is that is needed in order for me to be with my person. What do I need to know in order to grow to be there? And one way in which has been shown through Kate Moon, that has been shown through this Sister Myra person is in order to get into union and to make this thing work. This secret is that look at your person's sign, because whatever that person's sign is in, that your person is in, is something that you are lacking. Remember again, in order to make a healthy relationship, remember that your person comes there to make you weak. Where you are weak, they are strong, and vice versa. So just like with me, I would say I just do general, so you don't know specifically what mine is. Of course, I'm an Aries. I had my birthday there. Thank you. Shout out to those of you all. They gave me birthday wishes or and sent me texts or whatever like that, and I thank you so very much. Aries. So my thing is about actions. Aries is about independent. I'm a fire sign. It's about that action. I'm a cardinal sign too, which is also about that initiating, getting things started. My person is an air sign. They're about they are about let me go and say that. They are about, and protect the white light around that also. They are about thinking. Their sign specifically is talking about how you can be at service to the world, how you can be able to pour your knowledge and help out others' humanity. And so my thing, Aries is so independent and about self. They're so much about how I can be of service to the world. Things have happened in my life that have caused me to go the opposite, which is I'm about team me. And it's interesting enough, that's an area that I'm weak in, where I have to learn how to be at service with people. Doing this channel is one way, because I'm also known a person on my birthday to be introverted, not extroverted, and this is a great push for me. So that is again me doing connections, those things about that, building relationships, things in relationships as far as with my parents, how I've been raised, being in relationships have caused me to put up that drawbridge. But through his sign and seeing what he is, being the Aquarius, that I have to learn how to be able to spread that knowledge is. His is he's so much about people and about pleasing and being there for others. He's got to learn how to, in reverse, how to be about that team self. And so that would be something that he's got to learn from me, standing in my leadership. He's got that. But understanding how to be having those healthy boundaries and turn on self and saying, okay, this is me truly still being a good leader by me showing you about, okay, me take care of self and put my needs first. That's still because the way I'm doing is going to filtrate and help you to look at yourself and say, hey, yeah, me choosing myself, choosing what I want, choosing what I need is also being positively selfish, but at the same time, it's helping you to go over and go and catch and get and gain your power by going after the things of your heart's desire, which is going to truly make you happy. I need to understand how to be able to connect to others, and that will help me to be able to be happy, to be healthy, and understanding there is strength in me connecting to others. I don't lose my power of independence as being an Aries, but I gain. So that would be one way of looking at that. I can also understand if there is a karmic situation that is going on in my life or even in my divine counterpart's life, is to look at the sign of the person who is the karmic person, place, a thing, and looking and seeing about, okay, if my karmic is this sign, what do I need to do? So if my karmic is a water sign, I need to look and see about how I can be more in alignment with my emotions. If my karmic is a sign that is known to be a dreamer or a visionary that could be very pessimistic at times, but at the same time that has this duality of one going in one direction to another. I've got to learn how to deal with my emotions and how I might at times flip flop to be able to do that. Let me look at my cheat sheet. I think you kind of can guesstimate what sign mine is. And artistic, how I need to be charitable, how I need to, maybe it's sometimes I don't feel like being charitable. I need to be able to give freely, creative, a dreamer, idealistic, be spiritual. So I've got to get into my spiritual more. Less on carelessness. That's the shadow I got to work on. Less on being an escapist as well, like really deal in it and say, okay, this is me. I can't be escaping my duties. I can't be trying to find ways not to deal with what I have to in my indecisiveness. Thank God, introvert, and so I'm already an introvert, but Aries is more so a sign of extrovert, going after, knowing exactly what I have, what I want, and in order for me to get and unravel, as Jada Pinkett said, that entanglement, I have to go in and delve into that, being more of knowing what I want. I got to delve into my Aries to go over and be a strength where that part is weak, because that's the other person's sign, the karmic, which is coming to me to learn the lessons, and that's what I got to deal with in order. Once I learn those lessons, I become master of that. That's going to phase out. I don't know what kind of way it would be, and that's up to the universe to do that, but that lets me know. If I have my partner is in a karmic situation, I've got to go and look at their sign to see what they are. I think they kind of cuspy, if I kind of semi remember that well. But anyway, so I've got to kind of look and see how can I become more like that sign that they're in. So if that person is an air sign, I'm just going to use generalities. That means that I've got to look and see about how I can get more into my thinking. This person represents partnership. How can I, again, that goes back to my counterpart, they're about collectively working with others. I need to learn how to be a better partner. That means I've got to work with that on the emotional unavailability that I have, that I've got to become stronger. So in order for me to be able to do that, that means I got to think about artistry. Well, that's the same thing that the karmic that I have in my life is. So we're mirroring each other. Being more creative. I got to look at seeing about how I could be more balanced. A lot of times with the Aries, it's like I hit one lane and I stay in my lane and I don't think about how I can create balance on the other end. I need to see how I can be charming. Well, I can do that again also in my counterpart. There are things about how they are is very being friendly. Okay, so that's something that I can do, that I can work with that. Again, looking at also with them extrovert, how I need to be out there, be more flirtatious, how I can be more gracious, idealistic, indecisive. That's something I can see about that, weighing the scales and looking at both sides of the coins. And me being the Aries, most of the time I'm only looking at one, so I need to kind of work with that, how I can be a peacemaker, because again, with the Aries there, but we're pretty much self-assured there about things. We're very assertive and competitive. So in order for me to stop being so competitive, I've got to look at the balance of both ends, because that's what that leaves. That's where I've got to master. And a lot of times I don't. I'll say that. I have to be more refined. And I am refined. I can build on that Aries and really kind of strengthen that more. I'd say sometimes like a checklist, I already got that. Sociable, and sometimes I'm not. So I've got to work on those areas. The shadow side about this person's thing is being frivolous, being kind of very conservative and not sharing. That's something, again, I got to learn and pull from my own karmic. and learning how to be charitable. So that's something that, and I got to lean on my counterparts' things because they're believing in giving to everybody, at being a humanitarian. So I've got to really, I could work with that and strengthening that as well. And frivolous, indecisive, spendthrift. And I got to work on, that's a shadow of that person. So I've got to really learn how to be more freer about that. And once I do that, that would help to break my divine counterpart being in that, because that's going to, again, remember, we're connected. So that's going to be in that infinity sign, and that's going to cause him, they've been showing me like Drano, whatever's been blocking us for us to be able to have that easy flow of that, is going to send over to him, and he was going to do the same thing and start shifting it with that mindset as well. So again, for me, in order for us to be into flow, I have to remember that I have to be friendly. That's my things I got to work on, being humanitarian, being inventive. Well, I got that on lock. Individualistic, intellectual. I think that went across the board, that I've got to do that, but also be a dreamer and balance that, and being creative, logical, perceptive, really looking and seeing about everything so I can create that balance. Being rebellious, thinking outside of the box as well. And I think I'm quite that way, but I got to be, I'm so rebellious that I don't think about how that affects humanity or the people that are in my circle. So that again goes back to what I got to bring in, that water sign, that other air sign too as well, to my own fire. Being unpredictable, and that's good too, again, because again I can be so in my Aries that I can be finding myself in a specific pattern and flow. Because again, I know that I'm self-assured, but there's some things that I can be kind of a little loose about too as well. And a visionary, well, I got that down on lock. Eccentric is some things, the shadows they're saying, erratic, impersonal, and rebel. But with my own karmic and their own karmic, that's a thing that me pulling on their energies from their sign is going to help me to propel that together. So I would say right now the lesson for me is I'm about action. However, in order for me to break the cycle or the chain with these karmic situations and lessons, is that I've got to look at the air, the way I'm thinking, and then I also got to think about my emotions too as well, and I've got to weigh between the two. So those are the ways in which I would say that it would be very helpful. I put my thing out there as an example, just as a teacher, they say, what's the model? So you see how I have to think, get you some things of looking at the astrology sign. You can also the chart, whatever that somebody was saying about the Venus and the Mars, which is also the Venus and the Mars, according to K Moon, I remember stating, is also the karmic lessons. Looking and seeing about the karmic lessons, if you know the birth date of the karmic or the karmic that you're dealing with, and looking and saying, oh, this is what I got to deal with. The Venus will be the divine feminine energies as far as my spirit. The Mars will represent the divine masculine energies, and how those lessons are being brought to me, where I'm weak at, where I need to kind of build and think about that. I'm working on something in the works, hopefully, fingers crossed, send completion, send fruition, send manifestation about that, so we can talk much further. I got some things in the works about really getting some more understanding and clarity about that. I don't want to put that out there, but just send that, say it's finished, it's done, you got it, it's manifested, it's in the 3D. So I really wanted to bring this to you because I felt like this is like a top secret. And the universe is like, listen here, it's not a secret. If y'all would listen, and I'm so well in listening and looking at trends and seeing about what's going on in the universe. Again, I'm working on my my twins' strength. And trying to bring it in, and bringing it in. I'm doing that because I want to break the cycle into my own life as far as being a humanitarian, being a service to you all, and bringing you the knowledge and the wealth of the resources that I have, whether it's working with my spiritual guides and what I'm seeing, and bringing it to you so I can create that cycle of change that's going to make me a better person for myself, better person for the people that's in my circle, better person for you, and definitely a better person for him as my partner. Okay. All right, then. As always, if you need any services from me, any more answers, you can always get a reading from me, a spiritual reading, or you need any spiritual coaching. Go to divineunisouls11.co. All that information is in the description box below. You can also get a past life regression session, which I always really highly recommend. I had talking to my bestie. I had given her one of those past life regression sessions, and she was telling me, like, she said, girl, she said, I can't not describe to you, but she said, but whatever you had did, it opened up something within me. I got some other things. She said she went to Joyce Meyer's conference about that, and whatever that I always say is spirit, soul, and body. It mind, body, and soul. Whatever I did hit her soul, open that up. She went to that one to hit her spirit and her mind because they fed her with information, and she's been working with her body and doing exercise there, and that's creating the magic. Those three things, when you get all those three things together in alignment, I'm seeing 1037, which is again getting ready to start back over cycle again. 3 is creating the magic, getting everything in alignment, and 7 have that spiritual completion. All together, that's making the number 11, which is creating that balance that is needed. Hey, I strongly do recommend you do that. You got things going on in your life. You can't unlock it. You don't understand what's going on. You tried your best. Let's take a look at and a deep dive into looking and doing a past life regression session to actually see what is going on in the patterns in what things you have signed up in your soul to learn. What are the patterns that they say that you needed that you don't know, so you can be able to get yourself on the right path. All right, then, so go to AshantiWellnessCenter.com. That's found in the description box below too as well. All right, then, as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste and Namago. Remember to click, like, share, and subscribe to this channel so people can get all this good information. I have just given you something top secret, and the universe has said, no, I told you, over time, spirit will start to reveal to you the keys so you can be able to get into union. And this is one of them that I'm seeing that's been repeated over and over again. But if you're not listening and you're not hearing, you won't be able to see that. And that's where I come in to be able to hear and to help you out. All right, then. Until next time, we'll be talking to you real soon.